Good morning, everybody. So for this nice spring day, I thought we would make some flowers. I was looking online for some ideas to make the flowers kind of more exciting in case some people aren't super into making flowers. And I found that folk art paintings of flowers were just so beautiful and bright and colorful. So we're going to make some folk art inspired flowers. So, folk art flowers have these very thick black lines, and they're very colorful and beautiful. So here's, you can see like my stems and my leaves. And they're not super realistic. They have a lot of patterns and designs. They're very simply made. And I thought that would be good to kind of span all different ages that I have making art right now from home. So this is my example. I had made my example the tall way, and then I realized that for this video I should do it the other way so it's easier for you guys to see. So I drew my flowers in pencil already in hopes that it would save us time for the video. So I'm just going to go over in black oil pastel, and you can kind of see the simple shapes that I made as I go over it. You can use any material that you want for this. I would use something that's going to give it that folk art effect with thick black lines. So like a Sharpie, a black colored pencil, a pen. If you have black oil pastel, I used black oil pastel and watercolor. And you can actually do the same thing with crayon and watercolor paint. I think we've talked about this before, but again, the wax from the crayon and the oil pastel resist the watercolor, so that way you can paint inside the lines without it mixing. But you could color with just marker if you want, crayon colored pencil. It's really open-ended to what you have. And if you want more art materials, I have some stuff at school, and you can just email me if you feel like you want something different to work with at home. I'd be happy to figure out a way to get that to you. So again, I made really simple shapes. I started with a circle in the center of this one, and then I added my flower petals, which are kind of like ovals, not total ovals. And then I put lines through them, and then I did two bigger circles around it, and then I made kind of this cushion shaped, like a square but softer, for my bigger petals. So folk art flowers have kind of a lot of layers around their flowers, and like these multiple, kind of just keeps expanding. So I'm gonna just keep my background white, but you're welcome to paint it. And then for the leaves, you kind of make these big oval shapes, but they have a pointed ends, right? And then the veins on the inside. The only thing with oil pastel, I noticed I can't do any small details because the end of it doesn't show up as well. Like it, messes up my tiny designs. So there's my first flower. And then again, so start with the small circle on the inside, and then I just make simple flower shape for the inside. I do the circle around it. So it's kind of fun because you're like making these flowers up. You could look at real flowers and see how they inspire you, and maybe combine multiple parts of flowers together for your folk art flowers. I just went right over my petals. That's what I mean, like, oil pastels don't have like a sharp edge. Yeah, my hands are gonna get dirty. But when you make an oops, remember you can just roll with it. Usually no one notices the oops but you. Okay. You know, in oil pastel packs, they should really give you an extra black and an extra white, because I've seem to have gone through both of those really quickly. Okay. Oh, look, and it gets on my hands. Oil pastel is so messy, but I do have fun using it. Okay, so stem. I'm gonna do my 2 leaves. I feel bad my video yesterday was so long. I'm gonna try and make it not so long today. Which is why I drew this first, because I tend to, when I'm drawing, I'm like unable to make a decision quickly. And I thought if I drew it, I would have no choice. Okay. And then I'm left-handed, so I tried to work from right to left so I wouldn't smudge, and I smudged. So it is what it is. Oh, so I'm gonna start with my smaller circle, sorry. And then this one I just did little dots inside. The one thing about outlining with oil pastel or crayon though is that you do want to push down quite a bit, which is probably why my oil pastel broke, just because if you want to trap that watercolor inside, you have to make sure that the line is like thick and filled in so that the water doesn't escape. Okay, so stem, and then I just have one more. So again, these folk art flowers are kind of yours to make up and decide. I would just stick with, you know, there's a lot of basic shapes, some patterns like repetition for the petals, and also you're kind of making layers inside the flower to make them really big, and that way we can add lots of color to them. So for this one I did multiple circles, and then maybe actually for this one I'll add one more little design. Okay. My oil pastel got so small. Okay, so there are my petals. And those are kind of like triangles that kind of bubble out. So those are one way to make a petal. These petals are big half circles. These are little half circles. So just think about, I tried to think of, you know, what shape would this be? So you can break everything down to a simple line or simple shape, right? And then I got my last leaf. So I kind of did what I always tell my students not to do, and I have my flowers kind of floating, so I'm just going to give them a little shadow so that it appears that they're actually sitting on the ground and not floating. Okay, so there's my flower drawing. I'm going to go wash my hands before I paint, so I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Clean hands. So now I'm going to paint, and I'll do a time lapse eventually of the painting, but I did want to just show you some ways that I paint to like mix the colors and stuff. And so again, I'm using watercolor, and what's nice about the oil pastel, right, is that it's kind of trapped, so it can't run past the oil pastel, which helps to be able to use different colors. So I'm going to start with dark green. I'm going to add some light green and let them mix a little bit. And then I'm going to get some white, and I'm going to use that to make kind of a mint green at the top. A really light green. And then I can make my stem a light green. So with watercolor, you don't want to mix your paint in your palette. So this is my palette, and I don't want to mix colors in there because it would ruin, right, the white and the other colors. So you can mix your color. Oops, I forgot to do a little pastel right there. My fingers. You want to mix on your paper so that way you keep your colors in your palette nice and fresh. And if your water gets really dirty, I would suggest rinsing that out too. So I kind of wanted to think of some different themes for each flower, like color-wise. So this one I might try some blues and purples. So I'm going to start with that blue. And it's subtle, but you can see the difference between the two blues. I don't know what this one is. And then, so notice how like the water kind of, besides where I made a mistake, the water kind of sits right in there, and it puddles. That'll, when it dries, give like a nice vibrant look to it. And then maybe for the petals I'll do some purple. So again, the folk art flowers, really bright and colorful, lots of layers with different colors. So I would play around with using different shapes for each petals, making your flowers different sizes, making them all different heights really helped too, so I could fit more flowers inside. And then I'm gonna try this magenta color for the other petals. So I think, you know, if you take your time and make each flower a little bit different, you'll make a beautiful little folk art garden picture. And I would love to see your artwork. It really makes my day. Some of you guys are just so great about emailing me or having your parents email me, and I really miss seeing you guys make your artwork and you know, seeing all of your creativity, and so to be able to see it via email is just really wonderful. So I'm going to do a quick time lapse of finishing my painting so that I don't take up too much of your time, but you can see it when it's complete. So see you in a minute. Okay, so here's my finished folk art flower painting. I tried to use all different bright colors. I tried to make patterns and make sure that my flower, like, not only are my flowers different colors, but the insides of them are different colors, and I think that's really eye-catching. And it gives it that folk art feel, and folk art is supposed to make you happy, so I hope that looking at these makes you happy and makes your families happy. I'd love to see a picture of your artwork if you choose to make one, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.